You ever notice those people who seem to go out of their way to not wear clothes with big logos on them? Yeah, that's not an accident. It's a totally conscious choice, and today we are diving deep into the psychology behind it.
Okay, so do me a favor. Just take a quick look at what you're wearing right now. You got a swoosh, a little alligator, maybe a brand name spelled out. Now, just imagine for a second it wasn't there. What if your clothes were just silent? What if you were the one doing all the talking?
And that, right there, is the whole idea we're exploring. This deliberate choice to show up in the world without a corporate filter. It's all about a pure, unbranded personal identity. All right, let's kick things off with our first section, the unlabeled self. And trust me, this isn't just about fashion or being a minimalist. No, this is a really fascinating look into human psychology and what really drives the choices we make. So, to really get what's going on here, we got to talk about something called psychographics. It sounds kind of technical, but it's simple. It's the study of why we do what we do. It's not about your age or where you live. It's about what you value, your attitudes, what really makes you tick. And for people who go unlabeled, those values are everything. And that leads us right into our second section, this quest for authenticity. For so many people, this is the number one reason. It's this deep desire to build a unique identity from scratch, not just picking one up off the rack.
This quote just nails it. Think about it. For some people, wearing a huge logo feels like you're just outsourcing your personality. You're letting some giant company's marketing department decide what you're all about, and they're thinking, no thanks, I'd rather speak for myself.
And this slide, wow, it just lays it all out, doesn't it? On one side, you've got your brand identity. It's prepackaged, it's got a set of values, and hey, you can buy it. But on the other side, you have a personal identity, and that's something you have to cultivate, right? Through your own experiences, your beliefs, your actions. Choosing to go unlabeled is basically casting a huge vote for that second column.
So, here's the bottom line. When there's no logo for people to read, they have to read you. Your character, the way you talk, just your presence in a room. That becomes the main event. You yourself become the primary message. And it's not just about self-expression, is it? And that brings us to our third section, a different value system. Because a lot of the time, this choice is tied to a really deep set of principles that have almost nothing to do with how things look. This question really gets to the heart of it. The focus completely shifts. It moves away from the symbolic value of a brand name to the actual tangible value of the clothes themselves. How was this thing made? What's it made of? And is it going to fall apart in a month? And as you can see here, this choice is guided by a whole different playbook. We're talking about a real focus on timeless quality, stuff that won't look silly next year. It's about an appreciation for real craftsmanship over something just churned out by a machine. And this is a big one these days. It's about a commitment to ethical and sustainable sources. It's a flat-out rejection of that whole wasteful, wear-it-once fast fashion cycle. When you put all that together, this conscious choice, it leads us straight to our next section, the quiet rebellion. Because choosing unbranded stuff isn't just a personal quirk. It's a subtle, but actually really powerful statement that you're just not participating in the consumer hype machine. Okay, just let this number sink in for a second. Over 4,000. That's how many ads and brand messages the average person gets hit with every single day. It's just a constant wall of noise. So when you think about it like that, choosing not to be a walking billboard is, well, it's a way to reclaim a little piece of yourself back from all that noise. It's this small act of defiance that just says, hey, this space right here, this t-shirt, it's mine, it's not for rent.
Oh man, I love this quote. It just captures the whole thing perfectly. In a world that is constantly screaming brand names at you, choosing to be silent, choosing to be unbranded, that doesn't go unnoticed. It's like this quiet, confident whisper that ends up speaking volumes.
All right, so where does all this leave us? In our final section, we're looking at what this all means for crafting your own identity. Because at the end of the day, the idea is so simple and so powerful. You are the label. And this journey, it's a really active process. It's not passive. It all starts by just questioning the labels society tries to stick on us. Then you got to do the work of defining what actually matters to you. What are your core values? From there, you start choosing things that actually reflect that inner self. And eventually, all those little choices add up to create your own unique personal story.
And this right here might be the most important thing to get. This whole idea isn't fueled by anger or being anti-brand. It's a really positive, really empowering choice. It's about being profoundly pro-self. It's about putting your own identity, your own values, and your own story first.
So I'll just leave you with this one last thought to chew on. And it's a question that goes way beyond your clothes. It's about everything. If you stripped away all the external brands and labels that you use to define who you are, what would you want people to see? Well, it would be left